I don't care what anyone thinks. I care about you.
Holiday at the Goodman Theater is a fresh world premiere adaptation of the classic Boy Meets Girl, Boy Meets Girl's Sister rom-com by Richard Greenberg, based on the original 1928 version by playwright Philip Barry, and featuring an outstanding cast. This is Reno Lovison, executive producer at ChicagoBroadcastingNetwork.com and theater reviewer at ChicagoTheaterAndArts.com. If you're a subscriber or regular listener to our podcast, I just want to alert you again that this is going to be a busy week. Beginning with our recently posted review of Company by Stephen Sondheim at Skokie Theater, this review of Holiday at the Goodman, then Dance of Death coming up this weekend at Steppenwolf, followed by Confederates at Red Twist, and finally The Irish and How They Got That Way at Ruth Page. So if there's a flurry of activity in your inbox from us this week, just understand that we post episodes as events occur. So there's a bit of a fluctuation in our schedule. But it's all designed to do what we can to keep you up to date with what's happening and share our thoughts. Bookkeeper Jackie Egger is a new subscriber to our podcast. If you need help with your bookkeeping or can use some QuickBooks training, give Jackie a call at 773-576-8979. If you're not already a subscriber, take a moment now to hit the subscribe button wherever you like to listen to podcasts, or use the subscribe function at our website to be sure to be notified when new content is added. Holiday is a drawing room drama in 2 acts that takes place in the opulent uptown home of Edward Seton III, played by Jordan Lang, an extremely wealthy New York banker. His wife has died, and he's the patriarch of an old money family with 3 adult children. This is a story about familial love, romantic love, and sexual attraction, as well as the influence of money, and in both cases, those who have too much, those who don't have enough, and those who want more. Idealistic and up-and-coming young attorney Johnny Case recently met Julia Seton at a New Age retreat where they spent some extended time together, fell in love, and impulsively became engaged. Johnny is played by Luigi Sotil and Julia by Molly Griggs. Julia is a driven entrepreneur, owner of a boutique fashion line, who neglected to tell Johnny about the fact that she's associated with this extremely wealthy family. This is a fact that Johnny has to quickly come to terms with, just as Father Edward has to consider whether this new fiancé might actually be a gold digger.
I think once Dad gets to know him,
You've always been able to convince Dad.
he'll see that beneath the charm,
Though you and men is tricky for him.
Johnny has so many of the qualities of Eddie number 1.
You think so?
Oh, it's completely true, Linda. He was born to, absolute dirt. I mean, 0. And he just gutted his way through to this white shoe firm where he became this supernova. And he's going to be actually self-made, not like our family who start with a meager $20 million stake and in no time turn it into something.
Julia's siblings include her substance-abusing brother Ned, also known as Edward Seton IV, who is the primary reason alcohol is not allowed in the house, except during holidays. This is apparently from where the play's name is derived. Their sister Linda Seton, played by Bryce Gangle, is an artist who lives in Brooklyn, where she also works with children. Linda is torn between 2 worlds, which keeps her at odds with her father, who feels rejected by her lifestyle choices. She loves Julia, though she feels the aging debutante is shallow and too dependent on her wealth.
What is more privileged than being sad about being privileged?
Both sisters are protective of brother Ned, though Julia wants to fix him, while Linda just wants to nurture him back to health. Of course, Edward feels Ned simply needs to stop his nonsense and apply himself to his work. Drunk roles can be difficult and cringy, but Wesley Taylor performs Ned with sympathetic perfection by achieving a delicate balance of a person teetering on the edge of destruction with just enough control to keep him from being obnoxious or comical. Disconnected from reality and inhibition, Ned is the one most able to see and speak the truth around them. This makes him something of a fool or a shaman. In a desperate need for insight and understanding of her own feelings, Linda asks him to describe in detail what he experiences in his drunken stupor, as she considers whether she wants to go there either to escape or find answers. Ultimately, this is a love triangle that forces each member of the triumvirate to consider what kind of life they really want. A bit predictable, it's like a road trip where you know the destination, but how you get there is the fun part. At one point, the sexual tension was so great that when it was released, the audience audibly responded. The dialogue is real, and the adaptation by Greenberg definitely introduces modern elements such as cell phones, the internet, Uber versus Lyft, Instagram, and DoorDash, as well as other linguistic transformations and social evolutions that did not exist in 1928. On the contrary, what is amazing is how little is actually changed in the way of social interaction and societal relationships to love and money. Directed by Robert Falls, the pacing was impeccable. The first act seemed to fly by. I was so engaged in the action that I was actually astounded when it had concluded, after a very typical 1 hour. The set design of Walt Spangler was spectacular. As the curtain opened, revealing the understated, grandiose interior of the Seton family residence, with the particularly well-rendered portrait of founding progenitor Edward Seton I, it was obvious we were in for an interesting story. Costumes by Kay Voice included an ensemble of boho chic outfits for Linda and more sophisticated dresses for Julia, while Ned lounged around in essentially the same mismatched jog pants and sloppy shirt, indicating he probably never changed his clothes. Voice probably had the most fun with the nearly outlandish attire of Laura and Seton Cram, played by Alejandra Escalante and Eric Hellman, the two over-the-top cousins who arrived for lunch from Palm Beach and later helped to fill out the all-important holiday party. Ramal Chan as Walter is the long-suffering household cook, responsible for catering the luncheon and holiday dinner. Other guests included the caftan-clad Nika Washburn, played by Christiana Clark, and Susan Feld, played by Jessie Fisher. The two are presented in this adaptation as an interracial lesbian couple, where Feld, incidentally, is Jewish as well. So Greenberg covers a lot of territory with these two. It turns out that both Johnny and Linda are acquainted with Washburn and Feld, which becomes a literal point of connection between them. Social workers from Brooklyn, the couple represent everything that the Setons are not. Before attending, I asked myself, why is Goodman reviving this 100-year-old play, and why now? Well, it's the 100th anniversary of the Goodman, and in short, except for the rapper, it seems interpersonal relationships have not changed that much. I may be a bit old-fashioned, but this production is the gold standard of everything I feel traditional theater should be. Good story, great writing, excellent cast, and spectacular set. In this era of obligatory standing ovations, this very appreciative opening night audience leapt to their feet in unison at the conclusion of the performance. Holiday, directed by Robert Falls, is at the Goodman Albert Theater, 170 North Dearborn Street, Chicago, through March 1st, 2026. For tickets and information, call 312-443-3800 or visit goodmantheater.org. As is my custom, my companion and I stopped for a pre-show happy hour special at the Dearborn restaurant, basically kitty corner from the theater. I want to give a quick shout out to Windy City Winds, who will be giving a concert at St. Paul's UCC Church on Fullerton Friday, March 13th at 7:30. I've been video recording and or helping to stream their concerts for more than 10 years, so look for me behind the camera. This is Reno Lovison, executive producer at Chicago Broadcasting Network, reminding you, if you require marketing or video assistance for your business or organization, check out renoweb.net.
I'm going to quit my job and not take another until I find out who I am and what I want.